Hey everyone, this is Katherine Marie, and you are listening to Long COVID Real Talk podcast. Today, I wanted to talk about a concept that my husband coined yesterday, and that phrase is recommendation fatigue. I think that we have all been doing this long haul thing for most of us for years, right? And I feel like every time I go to an appointment, either I know more than the provider does about long COVID, or they say something like I need to walk more or exercise more. And that tells me that they clearly do not understand long COVID at all. It seems like a lot of the time when you see primary providers, especially, but not just primary providers, they treat you like you're overreacting, like you're being hysterical, that it's all in your head, that it's just anxiety or depression, that you'll get better soon, just give it time. Everyone's tired. Everyone's tired after being sick. Just exercise more and push through it. That particular one really bothers me. And I can't, usually I don't like to be confrontational with people at all. But when somebody tells me to exercise more, I want to scream because they clearly have no concept of post-exertional malaise or POTS or ME-CFS or anything like that. If they're telling you to walk more, that is a sign to me that I should probably be dismissing most of what this person says because they don't know what the heck they're talking about. I also have had people talk about detoxing or a juice cleanse or, certain styles of eating, certain diets. I'm not going to say that that diet is not helpful. I think that if you're doing, for instance, an anti-inflammatory diet, I think that would be pretty reasonably healthy and helpful for long COVID. But a lot of the other things that are recommended are not really, there's no real evidence that they're helpful. I haven't really had many people say this to me, but sometimes I say it to myself, like, because I'm gaslighting myself, like, oh, well, at least I didn't die from COVID. And another thing that I always think about is I got long COVID right after I turned 40. So I thought that it might just be part of aging, and it's not. It's like long COVID can affect people of all ages and should not be dismissed as normal aging. In the Facebook groups that I frequent, which is frustrating because they won't let me post the links for these podcasts, even though they're completely free resources. And I'm a nurse practitioner and a social worker, and I feel like I have information that is helpful for people or things that, like, how I look at my own illness. But anyway, that aside, in the Facebook groups, a lot of people are posting about different remedies that they have used or that seem to have helped them. And some of them are like a game changer, they say, and other people, they say it's helped a certain percentage or something. Honestly, all of this is just noise. I feel like when I was on Paxlovid, that first study, and it was less than an hour into my first dose, I felt all the symptoms lifting from me, and I felt like myself again. And no supplement or medication thus far, or other medication, I should say thus far, has completely made me feel normal again. Usually it's like you have symptoms improve by a certain percentage, maybe like 10% better, 20% better, but you're trying to what's the word? Like, make it a percentage just to try to understand how much it's helping. But the thing that's frustrating about this recommendation fatigue is that, there's always like something to try. And I feel like I'm guilty of it as well, because I try anytime there's anything hopeful that, you can give it, give it a shot. Like I'm happy to do an episode on it. But I'm getting tired of recommendations myself, just recommendations about lifestyle things or different things to try. Like like sometimes these things may work, but it improves things by a small percentage, if anything. And it's really hard to measure all of these, they talk about like, oh, well, you need to make sure that you don't have this deficiency or that, it's just like all of these things that, I mean, maybe it would help one person. And so maybe it's worth it to post it, but most of us don't have a deficiency in something that we can readily, supplement and then be better all of a sudden. COVID affects so many parts of our body, so many different functions, so many different processes that occur. It's frustrating when people present it like, oh, all you have to do is this, like all you have to do is that. Like I don't want to discount things because, they work for different people, I don't want to like poo-poo it, but it's impossible to try everything that's ever been recommended to me. And anytime someone has a recommendation for me, I just feel more tired, more like beaten, like, oh, well, you haven't tried this yet. It's almost like it's my fault for being sick because I just haven't tried hard enough to find the answer. That's what it feels like. So I am tired. I have hope when I try different things, but it's like this cycle that continues. You try something new, you start to feel better. You think that it's because of the new thing you're trying, which it may or may not be. Then you try something else, or you try to do more stuff because you think you're getting better, or you feel that you're healed or something. And then you become symptomatic again, or you have a flare. And it's just this cycle constantly of wanting to not let this disease ruin your life, but also trying to make sure that you protect yourself from running yourself into the ground. It's a really hard dynamic to maintain. So anyway, I also wanted to tell you something. So like in the medical field, there is this concept called alarm fatigue, and that is what it sounds like. In the hospital, there are so many beeps and buzzes and different noises and alarms that are going off. Monitors make noises, IV pumps make noises. Monitors can make noises for many reasons, so there are lots of different sounds that can come from a monitor. If you don't have your pulse oximeter on your finger, that will cause an alarm to go off. If one of your chest electrodes, if you have chest electrodes on, and your heart is being monitored, any of those come off, that's an alarm goes off. Sometimes, depending on the ranges, what's preset in the monitor, if it's too high or too low, it'll go off. And sometimes it's not something that needs to be alarmed because, for instance, they're there already for the reason why the alarm is going off. So we already are aware that they're having difficulty in some area of their body. It's one of the reasons why patients don't sleep well in hospitals, besides the fact that the beds are so incredibly uncomfortable, because you're constantly getting vitals done, every shift, and the nurses are checking your eyes and nose, your inputs and outputs of liquids, and they're just like, it just feels like one thing after another. And the number of things that you're supposed to be paying attention to is just constantly increasing, and you just get really, really fatigued and burn out. And I feel like that is very similar to how we feel from all of the people that are trying to help us, but I mean, if I had a document of everything that someone has recommended, I would probably have, 10 pages of random stuff that people think is helpful. And some people swear by things, and it's really hard because you don't know if it's going to be the same for you because long COVID is so different for everybody. So, how do you navigate this? Like, I think it's really hard because you don't want to minimize someone else's success if they've had success. You also want to make sure that you are doing what's best for you. And if you're trying something and it's not, and it's making you feel worse or there's no change, like, why do it? Like we only have such a finite amount of energy, and just constantly trying thing after thing to try to get better and then ending up right back where we started from, it feels like sometimes it's just really frustrating. So anyway, I definitely I know it sounds like I have no hope and I'm like really down or whatever, but I'm just saying that, like, I do have hope. I am trying lots of things, but every time something new is recommended to me, I just feel like I need to sigh, like a really deep, heavy sigh, because it's like, you don't get it. It's not, I mean, I still have not found the perfect cure, and I can't promise that something that works for me will work for someone else. And that's really hard. That's really frustrating because we all want to find something that will help ourselves and help all of our long hauler friends. But I just wanted to say that if you're feeling like you have recommendation fatigue, you're not alone. And I love the phrase. I love that my husband coined the phrase recommendation fatigue, because it's it resonates so much with me. So just for fun, please reach out and tell me all the best, most crazy recommendations you've received. I would love to hear them because it'll make me laugh. And if you have not already, please give us a rating and a review, or write comments at the end of the episodes. Any of those things are great. I read them all the time. And if you want to send me an email, it's longcovidrealtalk@gmail.com. I love hearing from you, and I just appreciate you being there and listening. And even though we have this fatigue on many levels, physical and mental and spiritual, that we still keep finding a little bit of hope to keep going and keep trying new things. But I know that it just can be really hard to keep going. And that's it. So anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk again real soon. Okay, take care.